Hello, my name is Margaret, and I've been asked to share some insights about the Barnabas program. So I'm happy to do that. And I do attend the Lighthouse Fellowship Baptist Church in Kincardine. And my husband and I just moved there last June, and in July we started attending the church. And shortly after we were attending, we were informed that there was a Barnabas program. So thinking that, well, we have a whole year ahead of us. What would I like to do? I do enjoy doing Bible study. Not really sure what Barnabas was all about, but knowing that Barnabas was a companion of Paul. And initially, when the church was started in Antioch, Barnabas was the one who was sent by the church in Jerusalem to see how they were doing and to check up on them. I'm just going to read a couple of verses from Acts 11, verses 23 and 24. When he, Barnabas, arrived and saw the evidence of the grace of God, he was glad and encouraged them all to remain true to the Lord with all their hearts. He was a good man, full of the Holy Spirit and faith, and a great number of people were brought to the Lord. So that's the type of man that Barnabas was, and he was known to be a son of encouragement. So when I was thinking about should I attend Barnabas, I wasn't sure would I be encouraged in the program or would we be taught how to be encouragers. So we'll follow that. Monthly, we would meet at various Fellowship Baptist churches or a couple of times at New Life Camp. And those were great places to see where people are worshiping, since we're also new to the community here. We had very interesting and informative pastors and speakers on various topics that would encourage us to on how to live our lives more for Christ and also be an encouragement to others. At each of these meetings, we would get together with the people who were engaged in the program. And at first, I recall we all sat in the room and we were all just sitting quietly among each other. And but as of the last Barnabas, which was yesterday, we were all engaging, and there was a lot of camaraderie, and that was very nice to see. We've really gotten to know each other and appreciate one another. And so knowing people from other churches and seeing how they have engaged in the program has been encouraging as well. We read a book per month, which prefaces the topic that's going to be discussed, and that has been beneficial. The assignment was usually a written assignment that we were required after each topic was presented. We will be doing an oral assignment next, which will be different. And I have to admit, sometimes these assignments were difficult, especially if you waited till the end of the month to complete them. The pressure was on. However, during and afterwards, there was usually a sense of accomplishment and learning a lot from them. So when we started, there was topics were about Old Testament and New Testament surveys, and I learned a lot from those. The Old Testament was written with Ezra and Nehemiah being the last books of the Bible written in the Old Testament. I found that interesting. We did personal studies, and I chose a couple of First John, and that was a real encouragement as well to just really study one book very well. The practicum was a highlight for me. That was a period when, after we were given our topic of discussion, we would sit together with a few people from our group and talk about what it was that we had heard and put it into a practical method of discussing with one another, encouraging each other, listening to each other, and critiquing each other on how we had come to understand the topic that had been taught to us. And then we would pray together with the small group. So that really brought us close in alignment with each other. I have to say that I'm very thankful for the leadership of Barnabas, the pastors who have started this up. This is a real opportunity for us to be able to grow personally, and also to share our gifts and talents with others. And that's something that I look forward to being able to do down the road. I also want to really thank Val. She's been a real support as an administrator, but also her encouragement to us and in the tech area, which that's an area I'm not so strong in, and she's been very encouraging, and I really appreciate her very much. So we have also been very encouraged by the meals that were provided to us. Each place that we went, we were just really taken well care of. We would have a kind of a continental breakfast, really, and then snacks and a wonderful lunch that was nourishing and very tasty. So that was something you could look forward to each month. The topics were challenging, made you think, and they equip you for service. I would really encourage anyone who's thinking about doing the Barnabas to go ahead and give it a try. It will stretch you. I won't say it's easy, but there's something that's you just get a sense of accomplishment from doing some of these things. And I'm looking forward to how God will use me in the future. There was one of the topics was on ethics. So this was an area of how do you view something that you know is really wrong? So for instance, if you had a niece who was a lesbian and she would ask you to partake in her wedding, how would you handle something like that? And there was some really thought-provoking discussion on that, because it may not always be as black and white as we think. There's various views on that, and that's good, but we talked about how did Jesus handle sinners. Christian foundations I found to be a really interesting topic as well. There we talked about the 7 graces from 2 Peter 1. Those were areas that I'm challenging myself with. Are those graces that I see in my own life, and I need to work on those? So really enjoyed that topic. Right now we're doing communication, which will involve how we communicate with others on a one-to-one basis or in a group setting. And and this is part of that, I guess, doing this talk. And so at the end of this, I'd just like to say, when I was considering doing Barnabas, I wasn't sure whether I'd be encouraged or be taught to encourage. And I would have to say it's been both. I have been encouraged, and I hope that I can encourage others in things that I have learned from this program. So thank you so much.
Thank you.